soon as Carl gets the full view. Here we go. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting, and I jumped on late, but I trust that Lori's talk was very informative, and as always. All right, let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next slide. Okay. We want to celebrate all our October babies, and if you're on, raise your hand, and we will hopefully see is
Serenade.
anybody from the any of the.
Yeah, Dick Fisher's on. It's his birthday.
Oh, Terry's on,
Okay.
and Alan Prim is on.
How are you? What do you both pick up the phone?
I'm looking to see if we have any songster on
You get the credit for it, okay.
to lead us in the singing.
Tomorrow, are you playing tomorrow?
I'm gonna have to find a
There we go.
recording for this, Joe, for happy birthday for next month.
Yeah, unfortunately, I called up last Friday, I couldn't get something yet.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
There's Jerry.
Happy birthday, dear fellow.
Getting the-
Happy birthday
to you.
and
Jerry,
many
thank you.
more.
We're playing Tuesday and Thursday next week.
Okay. But congratulations. Also, we have Earl King today, 30 years this month.
11/20.
Jim Dunn, 10 years, and Merv Balsam, 5 years. So congratulations.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh,
Uh,
all right, so, we'll hope.
okay. I got a few announcements. Please, we're hearing news of rising COVID rates in certain areas of the country and locally. So it's not that we're going to be going into it, but be careful of people that you may know that have gone into some of these areas, and please, please continue to practice safe measures. Wear your masks and watch all these people that expect the disease to be transmitted through their chins and not through their mouths and noses. So stay clear of them. But it's still a big concern, and we want to keep everybody stay healthy, guys. What I've done is we've got Dr. Parry coming later in the month to give us his thoughts and words on COVID. So at least we'll get some straight, hopefully straight answers, because I don't know if you can get straight answers from anyone these days, because to put it mildly, I think they're all full of crap when they talk. Listen to the doctors, listen to the science. And it evolves every day, every week. It's evolving, and so nobody can really speak at this time with any definitive comments. We're getting up there in the numbers, but we were having before the summer, we were having about 66 65, 66 members coming on Zoom, which was still down from the almost 100 members. So try and contact the members that you know that are not coming on regularly on Zoom for whatever reason, and especially if you've sponsored them. If you sponsor them, and then you know, give them a call, a buzz. Hey, what's happening? You know, why are you not on Zoom? I know Steve would be very willing to help anybody if they call him and walk them through the process if they're a little unfamiliar. I mean, there's no reason that anybody who doesn't have, you know, who has a smartphone or a tablet, Steve, I believe any of the tablets would work, right? As long as you can get on the internet.
Answer
Your
is yes.
music. Okay, so
Yeah, as far as I know, I was on another screen and was muted. As far as I know, almost all tablets and phones will.
yeah, so
Other than a flip phone, there are some people that still have flip
well,
phones.
yeah, I say smartphone, but you know, so let's try and get the member meeting. We got some real interesting programs coming up through the end of the year and into January. I've almost completed, you know, putting on my other hat, I've almost completed getting the schedule through January of speakers. Just a note that if the public schools are delayed or canceled due to snowstorms and any other weather events,
Alan,
we still,
morning. How you doing, my friend?
whoever's
Yeah,
talking,
everything's fine.
that was Larry. Okay, our meetings will still go on, assuming that we don't have major power outages or anything else where we lose, you know, internet, because I'll still be able to run on generator. So our meetings will go on, and Patriot Bank wants to thank us. Since we started up our meetings this September month, nobody's complained about us parking in the bank parking spaces. So keep up the good work, guys, and they'll be happy. Today, we have Granville Burgess, who's the author of The Last At-Bat of Shoeless Joe Jackson. And this should be an interesting program discussion. Comes highly recommended from some of the other groups. So please stay on. It'll be an entertaining session. Our next future, Dr. Robert Shapiro, Carl's brother, is a professor and PhD, and he will be talking about the arithmetic of the 2020 presidential election. So that should be good. And then our own Dudley Williams from Stamford, who's been the I guess last year, Steve, wasn't he the man of the year?
It's a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, and he's been involved with the libraries, been involved with the Mill River Park. So he's been very active on the police commission in Stamford. So he should be giving us I think this is a very interesting and timely topic, obviously. Then on the end of October 22nd, Roman Lasik on his recent trip to Sri Lanka. And if you've listened to Romans or been involved, seeing Romans travelogues. He's got takes some beautiful pictures, and he's got some very interesting stories about his traveling. And then on the 29th, it's not listed here, but Dr. Parry, Chief of Infectious Diseases in Stamford Hospital, will be our speaker. Okay, Ira.
Good morning, everyone. I trust everybody's received the minutes of last week's meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, I'm going to ask our president to cast one vote for everyone for approval.
Okay, I'll actingly cast one vote for approval. Ira, as always, you're doing a great job as the secretary.
Thank you.
Okay, future discussion groups, going back to 9:20 as the start time. Next week, October 8th, Art Feldman will lead us in a discussion on intersectionality doctrine and elections. On October 15th, Bob Butke on technology, and October 22nd, Joe D on current events. I asked Joe, Joe, will you do October 29th on investments? If you can unmute yourself and say yes, we can put that on the slide and put that to bed. Can you hear me, Joe? I guess Joe can't hear me. I'll email him later. Next slide, please. This coming Monday, the golf tournament at Sterling Farms. Brian, you want to speak to it?
All right. Again, we meet with masks at Sterling Farms at 7:15. For those of you who want, there'll be carts available to help you get your bags out of your car, so you don't have to carry your bag from your car to the starting area. Finally, if there's terrible, horrible forecast for Monday, Howie and I would let people know Sunday by about 6 o'clock. If it's a questionable forecast, we ask that you come to Sterling. Howie, you got it? And then we'll decide on the spot if we're going to play. If it's questionable, you got to show up. Howie, you got anything to add?
Yeah. In case there is bad weather, we will probably reschedule. It'll probably be maybe like a week from Wednesday or something to that effect. I'll be working with Paul and Brian on that. But Brian and I will talk sometime during late afternoon Sunday, and I'll try and get Paul in to see what we want to do. But even if it's forecast for showers late in the afternoon, we're playing in the morning. So if it's doubtful, unless it's pouring rain when you wake up, show up. We'll be up there. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Job well done so far. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. The next activity is Wednesday, October 7th, a walk in Cove Island Park. The walk leader will be Carl. So Carl, you want to talk to it, please?
Yes, so we're going to keep it informal. We'll be assembling in that little building to the left as you go over the after you go over the bridge. There's an office there, and the restrooms around the corner. I think everybody knows the building there. And we'll be starting off in small groups, grouped by the pace and the distance people want to travel. There's an inner loop and an outer loop, and we'll organize it further when we see how many people show up and what their interest levels are. But please show up at 10 a.m. and look forward to seeing you all there.
Okay, I turn the meeting over to Carl.
Okay. No new members since we've started again here in September. Because I've gotten several requests over the last few weeks for membership contact lists, I've sent the current list to Steve, which he has uploaded onto the SMAS website in the members only section. And I've included on the list, just as a reminder, this list is for the private use of our members only. It's not to be used, it's not to be shared with anyone outside the organization, and not to be used by anyone, including the members, for any type of commercial purposes or for solicitation purposes. It's just for personal contact. I've indicated here that for those of you who may not gone on to the members only section before, that the user ID is senior man, all one word, and the password is Stamford. I encourage all of you to make a note of this someplace, or to save a copy of this presentation for those of you that have it, so you can access it in the future, so that I don't have to try and remember the password, and so you don't have to bother Steve with requests for it. It's pretty straightforward.
And the password is a capital S, Stanford?
Yes, I'm not even sure how proper the capitalization has to be. Steve may know, but
Passwords are.
you can't go wrong with capitalizing it.
Oh, yeah, my
Do you have any
password.
guests or visitors on today? Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
So this is the pep talk on having our organization grow. As we've said before, recruiting is really everyone's job. We don't have a recruiting committee, so to speak. Advertising in the paper really doesn't work very well. So it's depending on all you guys to talk to your friends, tell them about our organization. You know, why is it that why are you here today? What turns you on? Why you keep coming? Right now, you probably need to stress the fact that we do these very interesting presentations by expert speakers all the time, and the discussion groups that go on at 9:20. You can talk about all the other things, the activities, the camaraderie and all that, but right now it's kind of difficult to emphasize, other than the fact that we are continuing to run every week, 10 o'clock. Meetings are always interesting. So tell your friends, your neighbors, your enemies, whatever, and just tell them to essentially get on one day on Zoom, give them the URL from Steve, and have them just try it out. See if they like it. Maybe it'll interest them. And it's as you know, it's a great organization, and we want people to know that we want to keep growing, and the way we grow is by growing internally, and you guys really need to help. So we're counting on you all to help make us grow, keep healthy, and thank you very much.
This is Carl again. I've had two afterthoughts. One, to help Stu along the lines of encouraging new recruits. This is one of the, this walk next Wednesday is it's the first in-person event we've had in quite a long time. And I don't invite anybody to bring friends along, friends, neighbors, anybody might walk with other times, bring them along too, just to get an idea of our organization, meet a few of the people in person. Secondly, I didn't say it this week, but one of the members questioned last week, and spouses are welcome as well to the walk.
Fellowship, Phil, you have any? We have at least one good news today. So, Phil.
Well, why don't you take care of it? I don't have anything that's been communicated to me.
Oh, you have the slide there.
Earl King, we are very happy to wish you all the best on your 65th wedding anniversary. That is quite a milestone, and keep it up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so Earl, 30 years with our organization and 65 years with his lovely wife, Joan. Okay, next slide.
Hold it 1 second. Phil, if you go back, I'm sitting with Murph Weingrad, one of our 100-year-old members. Murph, raise your hand.
Wonderful.
Wow. Thank you. And he's
Dick,
in good
Dick,
shape.
you've got to raise the blue hand on the participants because the screen only shows a limited number of people and we've got 60 people. So you don't show up on the screen. We don't see you.
But we do see Murph's head.
Yeah, we did.
So guys, if you want to say something, please raise, use the electronic hand to say something.
Dick, move your screen so we can see Merv's full face.
Yeah.
I can't move it any more than what we've got it.
Oh, put him on a pillow.
Okay. Oh, there you are.
Hey, Murph.
Okay, next slide, please.
It's great to be able to talk to you guys. Lots of luck.
Okay, the book is a long one, Undaunted Courage, but it's about a well-known trip, except for all the details which Ambrose puts into it. So I've suggested excerpts to the people who are signed up with the book club. And whereas it shows here on for the 28th at 1:30, and I'll test out the connection previous to that, make sure it works better than last time. But it's an interesting story that has a lot of important things about how this country grew and about Jefferson.
Our historian speaker last week mentioned the book that, he's had it and read it. So should be a lively discussion based on especially what we had learned about Jefferson last week. So thank you, Dick.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, Dick Fisher again.
All right. So on the October 11th, we are again having the Alzheimer's Walk. It will not be at Cove Island in Norwalk. It will be in your neighborhood. In my neighborhood around Boyd Street, I would like to have anybody who would like to join me on the 11th. 10 o'clock will be an opening ceremony, and we are seeking contributions. I've been told that the address is very small, so therefore here is the address for contributions to my team. It goes to the Alzheimer's Association, and this is being recorded, so if you don't have it and you haven't marked it down, you can get it on the recorder. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Dick. Okay, items for discussion. I got a call from Les Gordon yesterday. So Les,
I'm here.
floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Les Gordon here. Good morning, everyone. For a number of years, I've been involved with another senior organization here in town called Silver Source, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. And they are having their 2020 award ceremony a week from this evening on October 8th at 7 p.m. Then their awarding one of the awards is going to Kathy Szilard, who's president and CEO of Stamford Hospital, and for their geriatric emergency medicine initiative. Hopefully none of us will ever need that, but it's nice to have it in town. This is a free ceremony. There's no charge. However, they are requesting everyone to register, and at different points during the ceremony or during the presentations, they will be asking for contributions. And if anyone can afford it and wants to make a contribution, they'll be greatly appreciated. One of the things Silver Source did during the pandemic that's still going on, they reorganized and they initiated a meal delivery service to senior citizens in need in the Stamford area. And to date, they've delivered roughly 140,000 meals to needy people in the lower Fairfield County region. They're a very worthwhile organization. You can get more information at www.silversource.org. That's silversource.org. And also the speaker next week is going to be Joan London, who spoke to the luncheon they had last year. So I hope many of you will sign up for it. My late wife, Adele, whom many of you knew, was very involved in Silver Source also, and was a associate president and a member of the board of directors for several years. So again, it's a week from today, October 8th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. You can sign up and register for it at silversource.org. Any questions? Well, thank you very much for listening to me, and I'll hopefully see you there. Take care.
Thank you, Les.
Thank you, Joe.
Larry.
Yeah, I've read that on October 8th, Connecticut is going to phase 3 openings of the new situation. And in that regard, it says that certain indoor activities will be increased to, I believe, 150 participants. And I'm just wondering what the feeling is of the group to start to meet in person again, and what is the position of the church in holding it. So if anybody can speak to that. And it talks about religious activities and things like weddings. So all kinds of meetings, I think, would fall under that grouping. And I'm just wondering what people feel.
Okay, just a little bit that I've heard, and maybe Phil, more specifically, but even though they're relaxing, still the social distancing applies. And the last word we got back from First Presbyterian Church was that based on the social distancing requirements, that's what's limiting us from going back. Only can fit 40 to 45 people. And until they relax that to where we can get, I would say, if we're allowed to get 75, once we're allowed to get 75 people in, I wouldn't hesitate to go back to live meetings. But, even 75, we might have to do it by reservation, because we get we get that 88 to 100, some people are going to have to be out, so we might do a hybrid type of meeting. I know we had Knights of Columbus meeting at St. Cecilia's Church, but there we only had 18 people in a hall that fits 240 comfortably, and even with our social distancing, we didn't even fill a quarter of the hall. So it's, you know, I think that it's dependent upon the social distancing. You know, even the restaurants are limiting the, you know, based on that. So, as far as I know, you know, we can't do anything, you know, until that the criteria is relaxed. Phil, have you heard anything else since then, or is that still the case?
As far as I know, it's still the case. The most recent Sunday, they had a drive-in service outdoors in the parking lot. But there too, it was a very limited number of people by reservation. But I'll speak to them today and see what the plan is.
Thank you, Phil. Does that answer your question, Larry?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Alan Jaffe.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I have a joke. I don't know if there's other discussion. You know, people just have something to discuss before the jokes. But
all right. Well, yeah. Oh, hold on. Does anyone else want to have anything to discuss or bring up? You know, we still got a substantial amount of time before the speaker starts. Lloyd, please.
Larry, let me ask you, since we're going into phase 3, do you foresee having the luncheon, our normal holiday luncheon this year?
I doubt it because of the fact that when you have the tables, you're sitting right on top of one another, and we're not in the same households. So I cannot foresee how to do it. And, you know, I don't think any of location would set tables for 2, so to speak, for you and your spouse, and then have the next table 6 feet away. So I don't foresee it. I will make a contact with Woodway, but I just don't see how it's possible to maintain social distancing, the appropriate distancing, and have it go forward. That's my opinion. If anybody's has a different opinion, I welcome hearing from you.
Joe, our guest speaker has joined the.
Okay, welcome, Granville.
Hello, everybody. I'll stay on mute until I'm due. Hi.
As soon as we wind up, then we'll go right into your presentation. Okay, Alan Jaffe.
okay. Good morning, everybody. A man walks into a bar, surprisingly enough, and he sees a woman sitting at the bar with a dog next to her. And he goes to the bar and sits down next to her and says, does your dog bite? And she says, no. So he goes and pets the dog, and the dog bites him. And he said, well, I thought you said your dog doesn't bite. She says, he doesn't. This is not my dog.
That's from a Peter Sellers movie. Expectantly so.
Alan Sosnowitz.
Wait a minute. Unmute. Okay, you got me now?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, two things on information. On October 17th, which is a Saturday, from 8:30 to 12:30, they're giving flu shots at Stamford High School. And the CERT group I belong to will be helping out. I'm not sure where we'll be. I'm guessing in back of the school. There'll be plenty of signs to let you know where it is. The 17th of October, Saturday, 8:30 to 12:30, come get your flu shot.
Are you giving them, Alan?
No, I won't be giving them. I'll be directing traffic. Thank you. Thank goodness I won't be.
Just to let you know, Walgreens is doing it, but they're out of the flu shot for seniors this week. They should be getting them today or tomorrow, and they'll have them next week.
Terrific. I also have a quick one. That a truck overturned while transporting several hundred copies of a thesaurus. The newspaper reported that the onlookers were overwhelmed, stunned, amazed, godsmacked, astonished, bewildered, and dumbfounded.
All right, thank you, Alan. All right, just before we introduce our speaker, two quick things. One, Bob Loop is not able to be here today, but Bob informed me that he and his committee have concluded their deliberations and have a great slate of officers that he will present in the end of October, at the end of this month. But you know, he confided in me who they were, and I think, you know, want to thank the membership committee for developing the slate of officers, and I think they've done a great job bringing people on that are dedicated to our organization. And lastly, October, this is the 1st of October, is designated Italian Heritage Appreciation Month. So for all of us whose names end in vowels, this is our month to take a little pride. Thank you. Now, without further, Granville,